Let's go to LeetCode 2406. Divide the intervals into minimal numbers of groups. For this question, it gave us the array that is array two-dimensional array intervals, and for each element that is a interval, we want to divide those kind of intervals into minimal groups. And for every group, the interval should not have overlaps. And also, the things that if we consider the interval because they are left and right inclusive, so the things that if we have, for example, 2 and 3, another interval with 3 and 5, we say that is they have overlap. So this question is actually the same as the number of conference room. Those kind of we can use swipe line, right? But the thing is that because the we can set the intervals as +1 and -1. +1 as entering events and -1 as leaving event. And the problem is that for this one, we should, because this will count as 2, right? So we should, if we have possibly a sum variable, this one will be count as 2. We need 2 group. We need to add when we calculate, we should have the entering event first and the leaving events after the entering event. We should calculate this first, right? So we put the intervals as points, and when we sort, first sort by time, and then sort by entering or leaving. But we need to make sure that entering is happening first, so that we should have a reverse order for the second. If we have for every point, we the first element that is time, right? The second is a flag. So this one we are putting in reverse order. So let's write code for this. Um, we know we can use a list of convert this kind of intervals as points. We call list because new array list. So what we do is for every interval, in the intervals, we should add list, add new int interval 0, and the beginning we put as enter events, and the right we put the leaving events. We use some 1 and -1 to define whether this is entering, this is leaving. So the thing that we need a sort, right? Sort collections, sort list. We can use a lambda that firstly we can write A, B, right? So it goes to if A0 equals B0, then we compare integer, compare B. This should be a reverse order, right? A1. Otherwise, we are going to have integer compare A0, B0, right? Um, Doing like this, right? Sometimes if there are multiple sort orders, like write this, it's sometimes it's hard to write. So there optional, we can write something like this: collections, sort, list. We can have comparator and comparing int, right? Comparing int. And firstly, we need to compare the time, the first A0, and then we can write then comparing it, and we have A goes to uh because that is goes to its reverse order, right? In minus A1, right? You can also write back this. The second one, personally, I like the second one because um, we don't need like the this kind of equations, and not because the first one is prone to be error, right? Um, but after that, what we do is that we need to have sum with the local sum equals 0 and the result equals to 0. What we do is that for every point in list, what we do is that we're going to have sum plus point 1, right? And our result equals mass of the next result in the sum. Return, then we return result. The time complexity will be O n log n, right? Because every interval we have put that into 2 points and we have thought. So that is n log n time complexity, and space is linear O n. Let's write a Python code for this as well. So um, let's have a point equals n list in for interval in intervals. We're going to have points append point append basically have interval 0 and put this one as 1, right? And then we put this one as -1 as a living event. So what we do is that we need sort points sort. So we need a sort by time first. Then we can write this k equals lam x x0 minus x1, right? So we are going to have some current and the result plus 0 is so for every point in points, what we do is that we have current to the plus equal to point 1, and result equals max result and current, and in the end return result.